My fantasy book, Madeline, A Witch in Time, is about a woman who has to travel back in time to heal the witch wound before it plays out again in her current lifetime. And she also has to figure out who in her past lives were her persecutors, and who they are in her current lifetime. So she has to look around and figure out, are these people really her friends, or are they her foes? Are they going to persecute her, or are they actually on her side? And so I wanted to speak a bit more about the witch wound, because what is this? So the witch wound is a wound that is oftentimes found in people who are spiritually gifted, and it can be passed down through the ancestral line. Keep in mind, they have found that there is actually a genetic component to something like psychic abilities. So that means it's genetic and it can be passed down through the ancestral line. And it makes a lot of sense because usually healers or other spiritually gifted people come from a line of people who all have these gifts or other kinds of spiritual gifts. So it makes a lot of sense if there is also a genetic component to it. So someone could have the witch wound because of that. They could also have it because they were persecuted in their past lives for being a witch. Or I think even from seeing other spiritually gifted people being persecuted for being a witch. And I think you could also have the wounding through that. And so it's so important that people who are spiritually gifted are aware of this and that they work towards healing it, because what we need in our society, in our world, is for people to be able to share their gifts with the world. And unfortunately, this wounding, I would say, is one of the biggest barriers preventing spiritually gifted people from really stepping forward and sharing their gifts with the world. This wounding can play out in a variety of ways. It can make it really hard to step fully into your power. You oftentimes want to be invisible, and you definitely don't want to be seen like as a witch or as like a spiritually gifted person, as a healer or psychic, because it can feel really unsafe. So you might hide all of your gifts from the world, and even from people around you. They might not even know that you have these gifts. Other ways it can play out, one big one is through money, because some of the people or some of the women persecuted were women who own land, or you think of how they were midwives or herbalists, so they actually had their own business and their own income at a time when that was completely unheard of and not normal at all for women to have a business and to make money. And so it can translate into your current lifetime struggling to make money or to get your business off the ground. So these are just some of the ways it can play out. And if you want to read a fantasy book about the witch wound that hopefully will help you heal as well, check out my book, Madeline. It's available on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. And yeah, I think it'll be your next fantasy read. And thank you guys so much for all the support. I really appreciate it.